to Where Hawaii Eats. We are in Levi's private dining room located at the beautiful Ritz-Carlton Residences in Waikiki Beach. With me today is Chef de Cuisine Patrick Collins. Patrick, thank you so much for doing this show.
Thank you.
Tell me what you've prepared for us today.
So 2 dishes here, both featuring local meats. The first one is pan-roasted Ludovico chicken, served with escargot, a little bit of Hero Bar Farms lettuce, and then we finish with a green garlic potage.
Very nice.
And then we have Molokai venison noisette, lightly roasted and then served over a wild mushroom marmalade. A little bit of pickled elderberries and then a béarnaise to go with it.
So venison, that's very unique to menu.
It is. It's something personally I've wanted to serve for a while. It shows up in the French repertoire quite a lot. And we're really fortunate here in that we actually have truly wild venison. Nowhere else in the U.S. can you harvest venison and sell it commercially. So all other venison has been farm raised. So this one here truly has a taste of the wild.
So can we have a taste of this?
Yeah, certainly.
Awesome. So what is the concept behind Levi?
So Levi aims to give you, at its base, a French experience, but not one that you've had before. Sort of our goal is to remain playful. Whimsical is a word that a lot of times folks here like to use.
That's delicious. I've had venison before, but it's very different. This is pure, I can't explain the flavor profile, but it's very different.
We give it kind of a classic treatment. We marinate it in red wine that's steeped with a lot of herbs and mirepoix, and then finish it with a little bit of cocoa powder, and then we marinate it in that overnight. What that does is give kind of this sweet spice, kind of stewed, similar to something like, say, beef bourguignon on the outside. So then when you put it in the pan and roast it, you get this deep, complex sort of set of flavors without overcooking it too much.
It has that it reminds me of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it has a very stewed kind of quality to it.
So your background, the way you grew up, has been very, very interesting. It kind of brought you to so many different types of flavors. Can you share with us how all the different journeys you've had as a child?
Yeah, I was born in California, but literally just born there. When I was about a year old, my family moved to the Gulf. My dad worked for ExxonMobil. So we were down there till I was 10, and then we became expats at that point. My dad took a job as a project manager in Norway. So lived there for 4 years, and that was just a complete kind of awakening. In my head, I have a few memories from before that, age 10. And then after age 10, it's a whole flood of memories, smells, and just temperatures, and my whole world is upside down. You go from Houston to Norway. It's like coming back to the US and moved to New York. Some friends gave me a house and the ability to just sort of work in a restaurant if I wanted to, and after that, I didn't look back. So I went to school in Hyde Park at the Culinary Institute of America for my associates, and then right down to the city, Brooklyn, for 12 years before.
For someone that's not come here before, how do you, if I'm a vegetarian and you prefer meats, how do we share a meal together?
So a lot of what's happened with the food is a lot of the garnishes and things like that, sort of just through my own style of eating and the way that I feel that flavors blend, lend themselves really well to becoming just vegetarian as they are. So the whole point was to create flexibility. So if we give a meat eater or a fish eater or just a protein eater in general, or like an animal eater, I should say, a menu, we aim to do the same for a vegetarian. So we provide as many as we can possibly think in as many different styles. So the person who sits down who's vegetarian gets a menu just like the other person would, but mine would have, say, meat, fish, and those options, where yours would have strictly vegetable-based dishes.
Tell me about the local farmers. I know that you guys do incorporate a lot of the local produce.
Yeah, we're currently working to do as much as we can with our meat and our fish, and there's some staples that people like to see, like lobster and foie gras. So we try to balance those with our local vegetables to at least give every plate kind of a touch of the aina, a little bit of here. so it doesn't feel too foreign. We work extensively with Here Bar Farms. We pretty much bring in most of their portfolio of vegetables. That was one of our first producers. When my wife and I moved here about 5 years ago, we went to the farm, and that was when Kurt and Pam still were running everything. And we got a great tour, and it just sort of sold us on the idea that they grew some of the sweetest, nicest lettuce you could get. Beautiful little round, cute little thumbelina carrots, and I still can't find better fennel anywhere on the island. But recently we've begun working with Kahumana, which brings us some really nice greens. They're out Waianae side. So they give us nice mustard greens and ruby streaks, and then of course we get a lot of things like our basics, like we get our Maui onions through them, and then we get just regular horse carrots, as well as like beautiful leeks. They grow these amazing leeks that are somewhere between a baby and a full-grown leek to it.
We got to sample them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so everybody loves garlic, everybody loves parsley, chicken, bacon, all the things go together so well.
This is delicious.
That is exactly what we do here. Ludovico Farms just gives us such a wonderful product, and they're just such humble people. Yeah.
So can we sample this as well?
Yeah, of course. I'll cut you a piece of both the white and the dark meat, because everybody likes different, but they're both delicious.
That looks really good.
Yeah, Ludovico family does a wonderful job raising these chickens, a lot of love and just honesty to it. So we've wanted for a while to really
And there's the escargot.
support them. Exactly.
Very cool.
So we're very happy to bring something like this on.
That's very good.
Yeah, a wonderful chicken. We get them pretty much right after they're slaughtered, to the point that you got to wait a day before you can do anything with them.
I don't know if I've had escargot this way.
We go through everything that you normally do to the escargot, so normally white wine and butter. Mm-hmm.
Very good. So you cooking now, we're having you're raising a child in Hawaii, you live in Hawaii, you work at a wonderful Hawaii restaurant in Hawaii. What do you love about Hawaii?
Oh man. It was first and foremost, the reason for moving here was just a lot of the culture that's here. We wanted to try to have a family. So we were fortunate when our daughter was born, but we just loved that family was important here, that there's a connection to the outdoors, and that people they believe in gathering, they believe in being together. That's been the hardest thing through all of this, but I think if anything, that's really strengthened that core principle.
Thank you, Chef Patrick, for sharing your recipes and your fabulous stories with us. For more information, visit leviwaikiki.com.